putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. While I was gone in New York doing my Fox stuff, the tax bill was under consideration, and it was compared to the Fugitive Slave Act. They said it was the worst law since the Fugitive Slave Act. And what was interesting to me is how badly taxes actually enslave Americans, and that a Democrat would have the nerve to say that. See, you're a slave to the taxes in this country. That's government's control over you. By the way, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's a guy who offered a pretty hefty reward. It's now up to $300,000. He says, show me in the statutes, anywhere in the IRS code, where you're required to pay taxes. You can pay, taxes like on, what do they call it? Excise taxes, and Congress can set those types of taxes. What am I trying to say? Retail tax. But there's nothing that should tax your wage. Your wage is what you go out and you earn. And then the other mechanisms for the people to generate money, for the government to generate money, is through, you buy something, you get taxed. And there's and there was a guy who fights this every year. He's an advocate for paying taxes, but not being hustled out of your money the way they do it. And he's won 2 cases. Now, he's an attorney. He knows the law through and through, and he wins every case. We just don't have the guts to do it. But the fact of the matter is just ask yourself a very simple question. You get a piece of land, and you were in the frontier of America, and you farm that land. And I came in and I went, I know you put a lot of effort into this, but I'm taking half your crop. You'd probably kill me. That's what would have happened in the Old West. Somebody would have said, fool, who you think you are? You better get out of here. You're not taking half my crop. What'd you do? Did you plant seed? Did you harvest it? What did you do? I'm not doing anything. I'm just here to get my cut. You'd get killed. But the government does it. And then what's funny when I hear leftists argue, well, they're giving all the tax cuts to the rich, or tax cuts are going to the corporations. And I go, who do you think's creating the wealth? Who do you think's done something? Has government done it? No, government. Yeah, I went through this early in the broadcast. It bores me to talk about it, to be honest with you, because it makes no sense. I'm going to go out. Okay, so let's just think about what happened. I don't know what you may do for a living, but let's say you have a concept. And you go, boy, you know what? I'm a good accountant. I don't want to work for some accounting firm. I'm going to go out and I'm going to find my own business. I'm going to tell people I'll do your taxes, I'll do your accounting, and I will advertise, and I'm going to do all this stuff. So you build your website, money. First of all, you get your degree, money. You build your website, money. You then have to go out and find clients. So maybe you hire somebody to do it, or you go out and you're up at night trying to figure out how to bring people to your website. I'm the best accountant ever, man. Come be with me. I'll get you more money back, whatever. So you're doing your thing. And then let's say in 7 years, your business is thriving. You got a base of you're making $1 million a year, something like that. And government just every year goes, hey, I need my $450,000 or my $500,000. And you go, what did you do? Well, I'm Al Gore and I built the internet for you. What did they do? They've done nothing. Now, don't misunderstand me. I understand we have to have rules and things like that, and we got to pay bills, but show me what they did. They talk about roads and bridges. I don't even need to go over your roads and bridges to do something on the internet. Let's say I have a thriving business and I use, eBay, and I ship products that go from one. I don't even do anything. I just say, I know where I can get these products. I'll go out and buy things for you. I'll be a planner that buys you things. I'm buying on eBay. I ship it out. And I make $200,000 a year, and the government goes, I want $100,000. I want, $50,000, whatever it is. For doing what? You didn't come up with a concept. You do none of the work. I talk about it went from a guy who's takes a cotton seed, puts it in the ground, grows it, harvests this cotton, sells it to a mill. Mill then sells it, mills it up based on Levi's or somebody wanting it for blue jeans. They sell it at wholesale to Levi's, mill the product for them, and Levi's goes and manufactures it and sells it, and sends it off to a retailer like Nordstrom's, who sells it. Not Nordstrom, they wouldn't sell Levi's, but you get what I'm saying. And all the way through the whole chain of it, the government makes money. From the person who sold you the seed, to the water that went into the ground, to your harvesting it and all the equipment you use to do that, to you selling it to a mill, to the mill selling it to a retailer, to the retailer selling it. The government's got its finger in every piece of it for roughly the same amount of profit, and it can't pay its bills. I want you to imagine somebody sells a guy seed or a 500-pound sack of seed, and you get a $10 or $20 check every time that seed gets sold. Then the guy harvests it, and he goes out and does all the work. Every piece of equipment he buys, you get your cut. Okay, so he buys a combine that's worth $100,000. You get a cut. I don't know what percentage, but you get a cut. Then he harvests it and he sells it. And let's say he sells his crop for $250,000. You get a cut. Then the $250,000 of product that was sold in raw materials is now made into $5 million worth of stuff, and it gets sold wholesale for $5 million, and you get a cut. And then the retailer sells it for $15 million, and you get a cut. And you don't have to do anything. Where can I sign up for this? Because I would love to. And to influence people not to do this, Rosie O'Donnell actually offered $2 million in an attempt to bribe Republican senators the night before the vote. It was being debated in the Senate, and she said she'd give $2 million to any GOP senator who votes no on the bill. And of course, no Republican took her up on it. 51 votes in favor, 48 votes against, and we got our tax bill. But Rosie was willing to bribe people to vote against the president's bill, knowing, by the way, it's illegal to do this. I don't know if she knew it, but it is illegal to do it. And it certainly would be illegal for people to take it. But that's the kind of system that Rosie O'Donnell believes we have. And is she thinking about that the high taxes are enslaving Americans? Of course not. By the way, Rosie, you can still give that $2 million away. You can give it back to the Treasury. You can give it to poor people. Give it to charity. If you're going to be so magnanimous, give the money to somebody who really needs it. I love these sanctimonious leftists. We need to keep taxes high. I tell you what, the minute that any of them gives away their fortune and only keeps what the average American makes. If Rosie said to me, I'm going to take the average of $73,000 of income, if that's the number, and I'm going to live on that for the next 10 years. I'm giving away the rest of my fortune, but I'm going to put enough in escrow for me to live on $73,000 for the next 10 years. I tell her, you know what? You put your money where your mouth is. Have you heard of any of them doing that? These guys have fortunes. Jodie Foster came out the other day. She's worth over $100 million is what I read. And she talked about the tax bill, how it was going to hurt the poor. I tell you what, Jodie, it would ring a more true. It would ring a more truer. Did you hear I say that? It would ring more. But it would ring more true if Jodie Foster gave away, I don't know, 50 million of that 100 million? 70 million? How many millions does Jodie need to feel comfortable going into the waning years of her life? I don't know. I read a study that said anything over $70,000 and you're no happier. So let's see these people do it. And here's the thing. They're never going to do it. You know it. I know it. They know it. And we don't even take advantage. I would be running billboards that say, y'all you suckers that want to lament the tax bill, when you start giving away your money, maybe you'll have more credibility. And I'm not talking about giving it away to charity and then writing it off, because that would be in violation of the tax code. Why would we let you do that? They won't do it. And you know why they won't do it. And here we've got Donald Trump, rock star. He's proving to these people he knows what he's doing. Barack Obama said he couldn't get 3% GDP. He did it 2 times in a row. You want to know what the projections are right now? We've talked about it. The Fed is projecting, the regional central banks nowcast model says Donald Trump's going to go to 3.92% GDP calculated for this coming quarter. And let me tell you what they're going to do. They're going to revise it upwards, and it's going to be at 4. And then next quarter, this one after Christmas, post-Christmas, this quarter is going to be at 5. Watch.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.